Hi PreAlgebra, this is Mr. Rigger, and this is going to be a video that goes along with the lesson from Wednesday's lesson. So this is going to be for 3.1 and 3.2, and I'm on the second page of the note sheet I handed out in class on Tuesday. So we talked about solving equations that have more than one step, and we talked about how we need to undo the addition or subtraction first. So here we have a minus 3, so we're going to undo the subtraction, and then we're going to undo this division. And remember, you undo using the opposite. So we undo subtraction by adding. So x over 2 minus 3 equals 1. I'm going to add 3 to undo the subtraction. X over 2 is 4. And then I have to undo this division by multiplication. So x equals 8. Real quick note, this is the same thing as 3x plus 7 is negative 5. So this is really an addition that you have to undo. And then you have to undo this multiplication. And remember, you do it backwards. So if I have 7 plus 3x is negative 5, I have to subtract 7 from both sides. This is 0. I get 3x is negative 12. Now I have to undo this times 3 by dividing by 3. And x is negative 4. So that's a little review about what we did in class. Now we're going to be talking about what if you have like terms. If you have like terms, what we need to do first is we need to combine our like terms. This says I have 13t and take 10 of those t's away. So really I can rewrite this as 13t minus 10t minus 7 is 2, and I want to do this t combining first. So 13 minus 10 is 3. I have 3 t's left over if I have 13 and I take 10 away. Minus 7 is 2. Now, this is just like the problems we just solved, where I have a subtraction to undo and a multiplication to undo. So first, undo the subtraction. Those cross off because they make 0. They add to 0. And then I'm going to divide by 3. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. So t is 3. So here I have an n and an n. I also have numbers without n's and numbers without n's. So I have two groups of like terms. I could, if I wanted to, rewrite it for clarity's sake. The n's next to each other, the non-n's next to each other. The sign in front of the number goes with the number. So that plus 0.8n, that plus sign comes with it. How many n's do I have? Well, I have 6 n's. How many non-n's do I have? Well, I have 47 of these 1's is 375. Now, what I need to do is I need to subtract. So 6n is, and here, if we need to, it's okay for us to do a little math over here. So 5 is less than 7, so I need to borrow. I'm going to get 6. 15 minus 7 is going to be 8. This is going to be 2. So 328. Now, maybe you know what 328 divided by 6 is. I don't, so I'm actually going to do that division too. 328. I've got a 6 here. I'm going to put a 5 here, and that's 30. 28. So I need to put a 4 here. 28 minus 24 is 4. And this decimal might go on for a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off at the 10th mark. So 6 goes into 40 6 times, and I'm going to call that 34.6. We could also say that n is 328 over 6. So I have a 3n and a 3n on this problem. I have a minus 3n this time, so this is going to be 3n minus 4n minus 40. The minus sign comes with the 40 here. So I'm going to get negative 1n minus 40. And I'm going to solve just like I do an equation. I'm going to undo the subtraction. So negative n is greater than 55. And then I'm going to divide by negative 1, which means I have to flip my sign. N is less than now negative 55. Over here I've got D and D. So I'm going to add those. That's 5 D's. Here I skipped the place where I wrote them next to each other. Plus 24 is 84. Now I'm going to undo this addition by subtraction. 5D is 60. So D is 12 when I divide by 5. If you need to see that, 60 divided by 5, I've got 1, 10, 5 goes into 10 2 times, and I get a 0. So, there we go. Extended problem solving. This is a problem I'm going to let you try to figure out. This is the mechanics of how to do the problems. You try to set this up. Let's really quickly talk about solving equations and inequalities that have parentheses. So, this is a problem where you actually have a couple options depending on how it looks. If I have just a number times a bunch of stuff in parentheses, I could divide everything by 4 and it turns out nicely. That doesn't work here because here I have a 5x and I have some stuff in a parenthesis, and if I divide by 2, then I have this 5. What do I do with that? It's not going to be good for us. So generally, we're not going to do this. We're going to generally use the distributive property first. So the distributive property says take 4 times x and 4 times 5. The stuff inside gets multiplied by 4, and that is 16. Now I have to clean this up. 4x plus 20 is 16, and now we know how to solve that. Undo the plus 20, then undo the times 4. Let's look at this. Here I'm going to do the distributive property first. 5x minus, now I have 2 times x, and really I have this minus 2 that I'm multiplying by. So negative 2 times x, and negative 2 times negative 1 is 8. Now let's clean up. 5x minus 2x plus 2 is 8. And I have like terms to combine. So I've added kind of another step in. Now I have this, and now I have like terms to combine. So 3x plus 2 is 8, and now I go back to solving like we did earlier. Undo the addition, undo the multiplication. This works out the same in inequalities. Negative 6 times f, negative 6 times negative 5. So, negative 6f. Now, negative 6 times negative 5 is positive 30, so this becomes a plus 30. This is a 30 over here. When I subtract 30 from both sides, I'm going to end up with 0 and negative 6f because these cancel over here. I divide by negative 6. When I divide by a negative, I flip my sign. 0 divided by negative 6 is still 0, and I get f over here. F is actually bigger than 0. 0 is less than f, less than or equal to. And that's what you need to know for this lesson.